Although the 100-Year War has long passed, we are not living in a time of peace.
Whoa, this is an interesting use of the recap. We have it being used as a Tarloc fear-mongering propaganda piece that's meant to undermine Lin as chief of police. I wish they would do this sort of thing more. I think I'd like it even if it didn't have any story implications and it was just a character's viewpoint of events of the last few episodes. Also, the way the metal is curved up and outward here would have me conclude that the explosion came from inside the stage, meaning that it was rigged beforehand, meaning that Lin's security sweep wasn't good for anything.
Great news. You don't have to go back on the streets. I talked to Tenzin and made all the arrangements. You can come live on Air Temple Island with me.
You guys were just gonna be completely homeless? There's no runner-up money? If entry was 30 grand, I would still think second place would get a pretty good payout.
Come on, Korra. We all deserve a little rest and relaxation after all this craziness. We could swim in Asami's pool. It'll be fun.
You didn't find that funny, Korra. I don't care what the writers wrote. No one found that funny. Bolin making Pabu wave goodbye here is a cute touch, though. What in God's name are these things? They're birds, but they also have, like, human musculature? They're what, crow chimpanzees? Wait, with all the hybrid animals, could there be half-human things out there? I don't know, guys. I probably would have just come in on the truck.
Looks like our intel was good.
There's enough evidence here to bury Cabbage Corp for an eternity.
This is an outrage. I'm innocent.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
No, not my Cabbage Corp.
What?
Listen, I know we're not exactly best friends, but I'm sorry Amon took your bending.
I've been to the best healers in the city. Whatever Amon did to me, it's permanent. You gotta get him for me.
I don't know why, but I love this line. Tano's just sad and pissed, and the idea of get him for me is so sick. Man, I wish Tano was on Team Avatar. I know Korra's originally a waterbender, and he's not an anything bender at the moment, but whatever. At least he's interesting.
If you remember anything else about what you saw during Amon's attack, be sure to let us know.
I'm happy to help any way I can. I want these Equalists to pay for what they've done.
All right, thank you for performatively having that end of conversation in front of us, I guess. You know what, Mr. Sato? You seem all right. I trust you. I just want to point this out, something I've noticed in animation, not just Korra or Airbender, but what is this hand, I don't know, configuration with the middle and ring fingers together? I swear, you see it constantly in animation. Keep an eye out for it.
See you around, Avatar.
See, he's even still got a bit of a sense of humor at his lowest point. Fucking justice for Tano. Put him on Team Avatar and give him a fucking redemption arc. I guarantee it would be more interesting than anything they do with Mako.
Earthbending bomb!
Bolin shouts Earthbending Bomb here, much like Katara's Waterbending Bomb in Airbender.
Waterbending bomb! Yeah!
Welcome to paradise.
Yeah, I know, Pabu. Me too lately. Whoa, in this little 2-second nothing shot, we actually get to see Bolin and Mako just being normal, palling around like friends or brothers. You know, they don't even really joke around with each other. Here they seem kind of human. Whoever decided to include this little shot, thank you. Look, Mako's just goofing off for a second. Extremely rare footage. Here we get introduced to Asami's one thing she does. Asami is good at driving things. Cars, blimps, forklifts, mechs. She's a very gifted pilot. Like, sure, she can wear a taser glove and do a side flip or something here and there, but mostly all of what Asami ever does for this group is drive things. And I suppose supply the things she drives, if you want to count that. It's also weird that she takes it seriously enough to make this race dangerous for the other driver. Like, your dad pays this guy, you were probably gonna win anyway. But we want to get a feel that Asami isn't just this prissy rich girl. We have to learn that she drives well and was in self-defense, so I get it, I guess.
Emergency! Emergency coming through! Beep, beep!
Now, I know Airbender had some bathroom humor in it, which I'm not a fan of, just doesn't really hit for me. But there's like a lot more of it in Korra, and a lot of it is just there to be like, haha, Bolin needs to pee. That's the whole joke. It's just that, or Milo being gross over and over. Not that it was much higher brow in Avatar, don't get me wrong, but a lot of the time it wasn't just like shoving it in your face. In Korra, the whole joke is that it is shoving it in your face. Damn, Asami, can you get someone to dust your mansion once in a while? Yeah, I don't get that shit either.
No, I assure you, everything is going exactly as planned.
Why does Korra ever think to go and listen to this conversation and just do her best Mako sneaking impression? There is no reason for her to hear anything Hiroshi says and then feel the need to go eavesdrop. There's actually no suspicion of him at all at this point, so him being found out is solely because Korra wants to be a little snoop. If Korra had manners, Hiroshi would have never been found out, or if he wasn't in the exact part of his conversation to say that he had framed Cabbage Corp, whatever that is, and is, quote, ready to strike by the end of the week.
So you think Mr. Mr. Sato manufactured those gloves for the Equalists, then framed Cabbage Corp?
That's a bold accusation.
I'm glad you waited to tell us this until nighttime on this rooftop so we could have this cool aesthetic backdrop, Korra. I know time is of the essence by the sounds of it, but I also appreciate your dramatic and cinematic flair.
12 years ago, the Agni Kai triad robbed Sato's mansion. A firebender killed Sato's wife during the break-in.
Why is it always a firebender? Mako and Bolin's parents, Amon's fake family that we don't know is fake at this point, and also Asami's mom? Firebender's still got a mean streak, man. Also, the Agni Kai triad sounds a little clunky, knowing that an Agni Kai is this, like, honor duel in Fire Nation culture. Like, it's a cool sounding name, but I don't know if it actually works.
I overheard him on the phone yesterday. Asami, I don't know how to tell you this, but I think your father might be involved with the Equalists.
You spied on Hiroshi? What's your problem?
Right? Even if she did find out about Hiroshi's involvement, like, what is your problem? Like, every little interaction you're doing some scummy shit. Like, when Angwin eavesdropped on a conversation, it was pretty innocent. It was like, ooh, I wonder what the girl I like's fortune is gonna be. But with Korra, it's just like, oh, this guy that I don't know that is helping out me and my friends big time is having a private conversation in the other room. I think I'm just gonna listen in.
I overheard you on the phone. You said the Cabbage Corp investigation bought you time and you're getting ready to strike. Explain that.
My #1 competitor was knocked out of the game. It's providing me an opportunity to strike the market with a new line of Satomobiles. This is all just a misunderstanding, resulting from the young avatar's overactive imagination.
What the I mean, I agree with Korra sharing only that info. It does seem like she could have just been easily confused, but the most damning info of all was not shared. The first thing that she heard, that it was all according to plan, before the other nefarious shit was said, that would naturally bring in some idea of subterfuge, right? But it just goes unmentioned.
I don't care how cooperative Hiroshi is being. I know he's lying.
Why are you doing this? Are you that jealous of me and Asami?
Wow, this is clunky. We were doing alright too, but now we've tied in the love triangle with the industrial framing because Mako makes the leap that Korra would try to send Asami's dad to prison for the rest of his life to get back at him for liking Asami more. Right. Holy shit, aren't you like a kung fu legend? How did it take you this long to react to someone putting something in your hand? This dude is like a city block away by the time you clock where he is.
If you want to find the truth, meet me under the north end of the Silk Road Bridge at midnight.
Silk Road? I wonder what gets sold around there. Cactus juice? Oh, it's hard to tell, isn't it?
Over here.
So a lot of this episode feels pretty contrived, like the events just seem to happen because Korra gets lucky. She just happens to overhear Hiroshi discussing with probably Amon that the plans are good. She just so happens to be at the right warehouse out of how many to meet this deep throat dude who has intel on the Equalists and Hiroshi's connections to them. Now, coincidence and just getting lucky is a thing, and useful in storytelling, but I would hope in the episode where a character is found out to be guilty of funding and supplying a terrorist organization and also finding his evil lair in the same episode, these crazy events would take place due to our main character's smarts or other skills, and not just having these revelations handed to her.
We searched all of Future Industries and found nothing.
That's because he has a secret factory.
Where?
It's right underneath the Sato mansion.
Oh, Mom would be so disappointed in me right now.
Raiding the Sato mansion is a risky move with Tarloc breathing down your neck. If we're wrong...
I know. I can kiss my job goodbye.
Interesting. I thought Tarloc would actually be a big part of this episode based on him doing the recap, but no, he's completely absent. It's good, I guess, to tell the viewers the state of our characters and their surroundings, but once again, we're not shown that anything is different. Lynn seems to be carrying on with police work as usual. Without Tarloc literally telling us at the start, I wouldn't have known about this. More really clunky writing. Damn, they got the weird striped lizard vinyl? Man, they have a collection of seemingly rare rocks, but no Genomite shout out? For shame. Then again, I guess it grows fast. It would probably be a pain to have around. Then again, you can eat it, and it grows hell fast. That's an infinite food source, basically. Alright, so Lynn can use seismic sense. That's cool, and I like that seismic sense is kept basically within the family. Anne could do it too, yes, I know, but like Lynn can do it, and we see later that Suyin can do it, both of whom are Toph's daughters. And that's pretty much it. I think that helps the ability stay cool, right? It would be lame if every metal cop could do it. I like that some stuff, even if it's not as grandiose as the idea of metal bending, is still like exceedingly rare. Or at least it's like a secret technique that only certain people have been trained in. Unlike metal bending as a whole, which I think I'll get into in a minute or two here.
You three stay up here. Officer Song, keep an eye on them.
Officer Song? Man, I hate new Song. Bring back old Song and give her fucking horse back. Oh man, now the moonfish is dying too? Today just isn't our day. You know what, horseradish or whatever the fuck your name is? I know you're like all about the cause and shit, but like, did you need to hang up the Amon banners in your underground secret workshop? Kinda murders any level of plausible deniability, right?
Don't blame me if I start I sneeze.
What's your problem, bub?
I'm about to... What?
See, this is what I'm talking about. Mako's the only one that we know that can firebend with his nose. Cool, unique power. Well, then again, I guess Iroh kinda did it, right?
Yeah, just stay put until the chief comes back. That sounds very familiar, doesn't it? Why? Because you said it.
I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of Bolin's goofy wackiness doesn't hit for me, but sometimes a voice actor can save a line all by themselves. The delivery on this line is great, and it makes it a funnier line than it has any business being.
I'm afraid you won't be able to metal bend that wall, Chief Big Bomb. It's solid platinum.
So this is the problem I have with this dumbass platinum thing. They want to have their cake and eat it too. It sort of undoes metal bending, right? The coolness of Toph literally unlocking a new unique skill of her own, shooting past the limits of what people thought earthbending was capable of. What an awesome moment. She rewrote the rules, but now we fast forward to Korra and metal bending is so common there's an entire police force dedicated to it. It's not very special anymore, and not only that, there's this idea of platinum, a super metal that cannot be bent. Sound familiar? This is where we started in Airbender. Earthbenders who can't bend metal, and now metal benders that can't bend super metal. Toph was crazy cool when she had moments where she did things no one else could dream of. She wrote a whole new playbook. But the writers say now that no, there's a super metal now that can't be bent. So we're basically back to square one. Not only is metal bending not nearly as rare anymore, it's not even as powerful as it should be, because we the showmakers say, we wanted to go back to the rules we set up before metal bending so you can fight robots. People talk about how Korra makes the magic system evolve and push forward, but never point out that platinum just rockets us backwards 70 years.
My mecha tanks are platinum as well.
Also, haha, I was here, sitting in this mech, in case you found my secret evil lair.
No. I think I'll fight from inside here, where my odds are a little more equal.
Haha, woo! Really quick here, Tenzin and Korra do the exact same dodge. Seems like the airbending training might be working. Alright, air scooter wheel variation is very cool, yes. It's just a shame that he only uses it to zigzag 20 feet forward and does nothing actually cool with it. Man, can our heroes win one, please? Why are you the chief of police? Why do you have tattoos? Aren't you the Avatar? Why do we get ragdolled in every single fight? It's like the opposite of a problem one of the comics had. Allow me a tangent quickly. Toph loses an earthbending duel to a girl that's like, you know, a pretty standout earthbender. She's good. And I didn't have as much of a problem with it as many other people do, because I feel like for there to be any tension, your heroes need to be able to bleed. Toph's the greatest earthbender ever, yeah, but that doesn't really make for a very interesting fight scene if she just crushes her opponent without a thought. There has to be a threat of losing, or else why care? But in Korra, I feel like I'm never even threatened with a clean win. Our heroes feel completely outmatched, even when they're supposed to be some of the most capable people on the planet. And maybe that's what they were going for, that feeling. Amon and his technology are that powerful. But if you're gonna do that, make them actually lose and make it mean something. So often our characters are dominated physically, only to be bailed out and win the day by things that are totally removed from the fight they're having. They lose, but oh, it's okay. They still won the situation as a whole, so it's whatever. And yeah, I know I'm gonna get comments saying these are brand new machines. No one's ever seen them before. They've never fought them before. So? You think the gang ever fought a shearshoe before? Or a bloodbender? Or a giant owl? Or a big drill? Or a guy that could blow shit up with his face? Or weird giant spider things? No! But they were flexible and cunning and able to freestyle and think fast and problem solve and win. It felt good, but so far in this show our heroes feel useless, and that feels bad. Oh, hey Lieutenant, you're hanging out too, huh?
Load everyone into the transports and deliver them to Amon.
I'm just saying, you probably could have kept this whole charade going somehow, spin another golden lie from nothing if you didn't have the terrorist curtains. How'd you guys get the trucks down here? They weren't down here a second ago. Must be another way into this place, I guess, even though it's way underground.
Korra was right. We gotta do something. Quick!
I love how we gotta do something, even with this exchange of a knowing nod, is just like, fucking quick, run up and grab him. How tall is Bolin? How tall is Tenzin? This makes him look like he's 2 feet taller than him. In the case of being draped over someone's shoulders while unconscious, like father, like son, I suppose. Look, here's the hand configuration again, too. I swear they're trying to tell us something.
Sponsoring our team? Supporting the Avatar? It was all just a big cover.
Yes. And the most difficult part.
Difficult?
Difficult part.
Difficult?
Difficult.
Difficult.
Was watching my daughter traipse around with a fire-bending street rat like you.
We weren't traipsing, we were frolicking.
Dad, stop!
So if the rumor slash myth is true, Asami was actually supposed to be an Equalist spy starting out. That's why her and Mako's meeting and everything worked out so perfectly. But I guess it turned out that everyone on the show's team liked Asami so much, they changed their minds.
Let's get out of here!
Hold on, guys. Don't let them run away slowly. Don't let them tunnel out. Line up your shots. Make it count. Oh, just missed him. Also, we're lucky that the floor in Hiroshi's secret, very important workshop is earth rather than metal, like the one upstairs. Otherwise, whoops, we're trapped. What, didn't have time to install platinum floor with your giant platinum wall? Seems like an oversight.
Tarloc's right. I failed as chief. First thing in the morning, I'm handing in my resignation. I'm gonna find my officers and take Amon down outside the law.
Now Lynn is stepping down as chief because of pressure put onto her by Tarloc I didn't even get to see or have them talk about. I only know about it because the show literally took me aside at the start and said, hey champ, here's what's been happening. Lynn's quitting her job because of the recap? So the aftermath. Wow, this episode is not good. It kind of reminds me of the Boiling Rock, where everything just seemingly falls into place for the episode to happen. A lot of logic is thrown to the wind, big questions go unasked, let alone unanswered. Our heroes are mostly just along for the ride. Things just happen and they're there. Korra just accidentally is onto the whole plot of the episode, which is like a pretty enormous deal, mind you, Hiroshi being in league with Amon, and then the solution is literally gifted to her by a mysterious stranger. It's like when the show is at its best, like Airbender, it can fit so much into a 20-minute episode and still have it feel like it flew by, but this episode feels long and scant. Like when the shady dude told you about Hiroshi's secret workshop, it didn't cross anyone's mind that it could be a trap. Like, luckily it wasn't, but it just goes unmentioned. And Lynn, the chief of police, after hearing this dude admit he was an Equalist with secret intelligence, didn't take him in for more questioning. She just let him go. Hiroshi just has Amon posters hung up in his man cave, basically so we don't have to have the conversation of, oh, what is this place? We can just jump straight into him being evil after all. Even the love triangle thing is only mentioned so we can be reminded of it, seemingly. There isn't any further interpersonal tension built up over it across the episode at all. It's just mentioned, and then Korra gets to have a moment where she said, oh, go look after Asami, Mako. She needs you. And I guess that's supposed to be a nice moment for Korra, but I don't know, it just feels so out of place. Everything feels rushed and clunky and a lot more style than substance. Patron shoutouts if you want to see the next 2 episodes of Overanalyzing Korra ahead of the YouTube releases. You can support me on Patreon for just a few bucks. Link, as always, is in the description below the video. Biggest shoutouts of all go to my top patrons, Balmier Candle, who lanced the king of the sewer mutants through the heart. Dare 50 Kobold, who can finally duel that crane operator that killed their uncle with their new crane operating license. Kristen, who sometimes has breakfast for dinner. Be careful around that girl, she'll do anything. She's fucking crazy. Kenzie Hagen, whose voice has strange anti-ferret properties. Kyrie Walsh, who was the first person to get syrup out of the oldest tree in the world, and god, it's just awful. Laferg 13, who discovered a new integer between 7 and 8. Omega Fighter, who entered the BattleBots tournament using VR as his controller, and now he has PTSD. Queen Thalia the Graceful, who found the Fountain of Old and cleverly waited until opposite day before gaining her eternal youth. Roman J. Kopp, who has laser pointer vision. It's not as cool as laser vision, but it can still be useful. Sean Martin, who found an ad posted by himself in the back of a JCPenney's catalog that said he was a time cop. Stephanie Riches, who can tie her shoes just by fucking flipping her foot around all crazy. Tater of Tots, who's gotten mail back from everyone they've written to, even God. The 1 AM party, who lassoed a narwhal to help it get untangled from a net. The Pacifist Warrior, who got their DNA test results back and they didn't know they were 1/8 centaur. Thomas Lautenbach, who tried to hail a taxi, but everyone on the road stopped to pick him up because he just seems like a nice dude. Tiago Nascimento, who has created his own religion, hasn't told anyone about it yet, but he's pretty sure it's right. Whitrow, who combined crazy glue and normal glue to create only slightly unhinged glue. William Fisher, who wrote the single greatest washboard solo of all time. Zadok, who tried to skip octuple Dutch and they only broke half the bones in their body. That's a win. And Jean Wei Fu, who after moving to Ba Sing Se for his new career, met a lovely woman in a local tea shop, and it really feels like they hit it off. And of course my god overanalyzers, Two Boots Are Beat, Ethereal Catnip, Alan Garvin, Andrew Watchett, Austin Gallup, Black Smeem, Blue Food, Bob Deff, Chandler Crump, Kobe Smith, Dead Rat Fiasco, Deathly Healer, Dizzy Payne, Dr. Xerox, Dominic Sate, Donut, Distent, Emma Not Emma, Aaron Grace, Gianluca Leandro Magi, JL, Jacob 1908, Jackson, John Ajaka, Justin Fletchall, Justin Wells, Kai Doom, Kelly, Lord of Mordor, Mac, Medium D Speaks, Misaki Ito, Nick, Nicholas Abbott, Peter Bayron, Reese, Rocket Mist, Ryan Gregorikos, Ryan Maxwell, Samuel Vanderplatz, Sean Flowers, Super Snipper, The Long and Short of It, Thiefy Mole, Tom Cooper, Turt Bobs, and the Bearface. Next up, how did you escape blood bending?